podcast is Wrestling Daft and is scheduled for 1 hour. Maybe more. It has no real time limits, making their way into your ears. First, from a place called Barneston, he is the Pyramid.
It's going to be the funniest show ever because I'm all about the comedy and the money, baby.
How much you gonna pay?
And his partner, the top end of Stevenson.
From Mexico City to Beef Community Centre, I've got stories that are going to blow your mind.
Hello and welcome to Wrestling Daft. My name is the mighty Rab Florence, and I'm joined, of course, by the mighty Grado. I was for a minute going to say the shitey Grado, but then I do too much affection for you. I didn't want to even make a joke.
Thanks, bro.
Mighty Grado. How you doing, Grado?
I'm good,
WrestleMania just passed. Woo!
There you go. Woo! WrestleMania fever. Watched about 75% of it, Rab, if I'm being honest. I never watched it all. Kind of fell asleep both nights.
75%, so you only watched 14 hours of it. It's your first joke of the day, guys. Man. So, I mean, how do we do this? Because obviously we've got a lot to get through. We've got the burries and put-downs. I think we should maybe save WrestleMania chat for the burries and put-downs. How do you feel about that?
You all right then? What else you been up to then?
Nothing much. I've been doing a bit of prep for my sitcom. Did a read through the sitcom and stuff like that. I'm going to be filming next month. Hopefully name our variants. Name our Brazilian variants. Only Brazilian variant I want involved in the filming of a sitcom is my own Brazilian wax. That I get done.
Well, just to let you know, I just had a wee text for Sky News telling me there's a South African one, so don't be counting your chickens.
South African one is on the way. Bring them all on. I've been vaccinated. I'm ready to take all the variants on. I'll take them on.
I'm filming next month on All the Way 2 Doors Down. How funny.
Oh, that's interesting.
Bayface could be at the same time. I don't know if it's...
Where are you filming?
Yeah, Dumbarton, I think. Oh no, is it Dumbarton? How are you filming? What are you laughing at?
Dumbarton, man. In fact, we'll be filming. We'll be filming in Maryhill, mate. So, so it's all glamour. It's all the glamour. Where are you filming? Didn't that say the way Tom Cruise and that has a chat with his pals? Where are you filming? Dumbarton, I'm in Maryhill. I'm filming Mission Post 6 Maryhill. Embarrassing, isn't it? It's embarrassing. So is that where 2 Doors Down happens, in the River City kind of studios?
Aye, it's I think the Still Game will get filmed there as well. Is it not that kind of same lot? Is it not that type of same studio bit that they kind of convert into a big house and stuff like that? I know that the first week we always do the exterior shots, so it was originally a house in Bishop Briggs, and then it got moved to a house in Scheme in Hamilton because.
What's the full address, just in case any punters want to come down and?
I don't know. It's somewhere in Hamilton. I'm in a big black toot merc when I get down there. I don't look.
But you wouldn't mind, wouldn't you, know, if some of the punters turned up?
Well, I'd love it.
Say hello to you and Johnny Watson and that. You'd be all right with that.
Well, that's why you're right. I'd love that because, I'd put myself over a bit. Man, there's the fans out there. You know what I mean? Oh, hold on, man. And then listen. And so if you do come to the set, ask for a person called, what's her name again? I'm trying to remember one of the directors.
Lane C. Smith?
No, no her. I mean one of the Straubs. You guys say Straubs.
Say it, man. I'm going to say it as well.
One of the Straubs. I'll find out closer to the show. I'll tell you the name of one of the Straubs. And if you're listening, troops, tell this Straub, can Grado come out for a photo? And just keep at her, so then it looks good if I'm sitting amongst Elaine C, Johnny Watson, and all that. And then, right, that's a good take. Grado, would you mind getting there and seeing your fan base? Then I'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake, man, he's going to be left alone. I'll be back in 2 minutes, Johnny. I can't talk, mate. Selfies.
Aye.
So,
Grado, tell the punters what happens when you're filming and it starts raining.
What do you mean? If it's outside?
Aye.
Well, it stops. Does it not stop?
No, if it's a wee bit of rain
it doesn't
and you're
stop,
standing there outside, what happens?
You get, right, this is what happens, right? I know exactly what you mean. Somebody comes up with an umbrella and puts it over your head.
Somebody runs over an umbrella and stands beside you with an umbrella.
And you don't need to hold it up. You just stand there and you just take it.
And if you suggest you're going to take the umbrella, they go like, no.
Nah, they go, I'll get in bother. And you're standing there and you're mortified. But then you kind of grow to like it.
Then you expect it, didn't you?
Then you expect it.
You're like, where's my umbrella?
And so that's like, you know, and I remember my mum and father coming to see me in Scotscod once, and I was praying for it to rain just so that they could see somebody put an umbrella underneath me to go,
You know
look
what
at me,
makes
mum.
me
Look
so
what I've
angry,
done.
mate? You know what makes me so angry, Grado?
What?
It's when like 10 minutes passes and nobody asks me if I want a bottle of water. It drives me insane, mate, when that happens. Do you know what I mean?
Can I tell you a wee quick story about somebody right on 2 doors down, right? It's just a wee quick one, right? But it was my very first day on the job, right? And this actress, who will remain nameless, right?
This actress.
Elaine Smith.
it's
Elaine C. Smith.
No, it's not. I can tell you the now it's not Elaine C.
Right.
Smith, right?
Okay.
And I went into the makeup truck and I sat down and she went, "Oh, who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, Grado." She went, "Well, just let me give you a wee bit of advice, son. You should be happy you've got this job. You don't realise how big a job this is. Do you know how many people don't make it? There's only 2%. Only 2% of people that get into the acting actually make something of it. This is your big chance. And you remember, if you do well on this, you remember everybody in the way up. You treat them with respect. Everybody in the set, you treat them with respect. You treat them with dignity. You treat them how you treat everybody else." And like, she went on and on and on telling me about how I'm lucky and there's only 2% and all this and how you
Treat
should
everybody with
be
respect, you know, that's what she was saying. Definitely wasn't Elaine C. Smith.
and then so we got talking and talking and talking, and then see, honestly, about 10 minutes later, somebody came in and went, "Oh, there's your tea." She went, "Ask for that tea half an hour ago." What guesses it to me now? And I turned around to her and I goes, "Here you." I goes, "Did you know that only 2% of actors missed it?"
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And since then, the makeup artists absolutely love me.
It's brilliant in the morning, isn't it? When they go like, "You want a wee roll and sausage or something? I'll get it for you while you're sitting there in the makeup." And that.
It's funny, man, because like the first couple of times you done Scott Squad, it was just like, "I'll just take a roll and slice." And you want a tatty scone? No, it's all right. You're fucking desperate for a tatty scone, but you just want to, you know what I mean?
Aye.
But then when you get that comfortable after years, I'm like, full English, mate. I want everything: mushrooms, beans, hash browns, the full lot.
And keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
Keep it coming, mate, or you're out of a job. Only 2% of people become runners because I get them all fucking fired because they don't hold an umbrella on my head fast enough.
Am I missing a trick? Is this what I should be doing before you get ready for this show, boys? You know, like getting stuff sent over and all that sort of.
Aye, there's a rolling sausage on it. Right, anyway, sorry. So, welcome to Wrestling Daft. It's no TV daft. It's no, I mean, we're talking about stuff that nobody out there's ever going to experience. So we don't want to be doing that, do we?
Oh, you're terrible.
Heels the night. Thanks to our boy Billy, who's come across a video of Americans reading out one of Grado's tweets.
My ma has been away on holiday for a day, and the Doug is running a boot covered in curry sauce.
Mama has been away on holiday for a day, and the Doug is running covered in curry sauce.
Fucking hell.
How
That's
weird
funny,
is that?
man. That was, I mean, that tweet was years and years ago. That's mental. What was that, part of Paddy Power or something?
I don't know where it's come from.
That's funny. They're just my dog. It was my golden. It must have been 2012 because Molly died 2013. Anyway,
Thanks for ruining the buzz of that bit.
hey, it doesn't matter. She's at Rainbow Bridge.
It's true. She's at Rainbow Bridge. After all the controversy of the wrestlers' use of Cameo, WWE were on at our WrestleMania weekend, and somebody paid $500 for this.
Hi, listen, my favorite WrestleMania moment was WrestleMania 1, when the bell rang, because that marked the beginning of greatness.
$500 for that.
Man, oh, that's horrific. Surely there's been a miscommunication there, man. Come on.
Stephen has been in touch as a memory suddenly came to him the other day. He said that he's got some blurry memories of Grado and Jack Jester in a bar in Glasgow. Oh dear. You want me to keep reading, Grado?
Right, okay.
He's no name in the bar to save you any hassle. Oh dear.
It doesn't take much
Oh
guessing.
dear. Stoning on the bar, pouring aftershock into everybody's mouths. It's the box.
Yep.
Sure, there's some pictures somewhere. It was after an ICW night at the Hydro. I went back to my hotel and got sacked the next day for not turning up to work. Definitely worth it though.
Oh, come on. Have you not done a night at the box? I'm sure you have you not?
I've been there, I've seen that
And
carry on happening.
Mate, that always starts off like, I'm just going to have a couple of drinks. I'm going to stick to doing the DJing, right? But once it kicks off, man, that's what you do. You saw that Coyote Ugly pattern, man, stunning on top of the bar and crowd surfing and stuff like that, man. I love it.
Max has got a request. Please, can you get Grado to do the impression of the fella with a mate called Graham on the Isle of Man again? Let's hear it, Grado.
Can I ask you what your real name is? It's Graham. Graham? Well, I've got a friend for the Isle of Man called Graham.
And another request, and this week is another sing for Grado, a wee bit of singing. Yeah, King Karen's asking Grado to sing Jeff Hardy's theme for TNA when he was at East Hits. And so it's called Another Me, I believe. It was a banger. You remember this one, Grado? I know no many people remember this because no many people watch TNA, but do you remember, Grado, what it was?
It's kind of like that, isn't it? Hold on.
Give me a second. You'll get it.
Another me is what they will never be. Something like that. Is it something like that? Does it go like that?
Oh, I don't know it.
Another me is not you to be. I'm sure it's like that. I'm just,
Was Jeff Hardy singing it himself?
oh, aye, man, they're all rotten, aren't they? Every single one of them, man. But that's what you do, man. When I was backstage with Jeff Hardy, I would shine him up and go, any new tunes? Oh yeah, you want to hear some? Oh, fucking bar in. We just recorded this the other day, and it was like a cat getting buffed to a fucking tractor. It was horrific, but I fucking, that way I'm going, that's tremendous. Can you send me that?
If you want to get in touch with us about any of that stuff, because we want to go into the WrestleMania chat, just contact even some random wrestling related stuff, or even just some random stuff. Why don't you tell us about the time you filmed a TV show and how they treated you on set? Contact us on Twitter at Wrestling Daft, Instagram at Wrestling Daft Podcast, just Wrestling Daft on Facebook, or email us at wrestlingdaft@gmail.com.
I'm sure everybody that's listening to this podcast, they already know about ExpressVPN. How could you know? Because listen, we talk about them all the time on this show, and I can't stress enough the importance of protecting your online activity for those big bad, big techs. They track, they spy, and they're taking money off you, they profit off you. But there's actually another reason why many of the listeners love ExpressVPN, and it's Netflix. Because listen to this, thousands of shows on Netflix, they're only available outside of the UK. So what you need to do is you need to change your country if you want to access them. Because what the app does, ExpressVPN, it encrypts your data, then it reroutes it through a server location so you can pick any country you want. And it not only protects your data, but it lets you control which country you want if Netflix to think you're in. So then you can choose for 90 different countries. Every time you run out of stuff to watch for one country, so you're watching a wee bit of Broadchurch in Japan, and then you maybe want to watch the latest series of Prison Break in Mexico, you can do that. You just fire up the app, get it on your laptop, your smart TV, switch your country, and all you're doing is basically hit connect. Once you refresh your page, you'll get a brand new selection of shows, and it's that easy. Here's the best part, it's not just Netflix. You can use ExpressVPN to unlock shows or other sports on any other streaming services too. And if you're into the Peacock, it's free, and it's only available in the US. So what you do is if you want to watch the WWE and all that, what you do if you're not getting the network, you change to your USA and you can get all the stuff on there. But I don't, Peacock, they're still updating the WWE stuff. So there is a reason why ExpressVPN is the #1 rated VPN provider by publishers like Wired, CNET, and most importantly, Marcel. So be smart, guys. Protect your data. Stop paying the full price for streaming services, and you're only getting access to a fraction of their content, because if you get to expressvpn.com/wrestling, go on there right now, /wrestling. Get 3 extra months of their service for free. That is expressvpn.com/wrestling, expressvpn.com/wrestling. Fin out there and help the show. Catches.
Every week, we like to separate the good for the bad, the every other gimmick in the history of wrestling for the Fiend. It's time to talk about burying and putting over. What are we burying and what are we putting over? Is there anything you want to bury? Let's talk about WrestleMania, Grado.
Right. Raging that Drew get bit. Finish was shite. Didn't like that. Watch 75% of WrestleMania. I think I've said that. Burying that there was no star attraction, but I don't mean to sound pathetic, and I've said this already. But it was like the Saturday, Sunday, I'm getting myself G'd up and I'm going, Christ, there's no Undertaker, there's no Rick, well, I don't want to say Rick Flair anymore. There's no Triple H, there's no Batista, there's no kind of ones that take you back, and it would be interesting to see them with new troops. it was all just, it didn't feel like a WrestleMania card. Looking at it, I'm going, nothing out there, nothing apart from Big Drew is really, I mean, AJ Styles in a random tag bout to me, who doesn't watch the product, I'm going like that. What's the crack here? Come on. There's AJ Styles there, but he's not, do you know what I mean? It just looked very frustrating. However, I thought the actual wrestling, the matches were good for what I saw. I enjoyed The Fiend and Randy Orton. I enjoyed the Matt Riddle match with Sheamus. I enjoyed Cesaro match. I enjoyed the main event the second night. I'm sorry, I never saw the main event the first night, and I feel terrible because everybody said it was the best match at the 2 weekends. The two shows. But I loved the feeling I loved feeling anxious watching night one, because I was just thinking, what the fuck is going on here? You know, you've got Michael Cole and Samoa Joe stunning and Akagu and all that, right? And you're just like, what is happening? Like, something's not right. And the backstage interviews they're shooting stuff in the fly. Some of it's good, some of it's cringy, and you feel bad for them because it's obviously, I mean, you're watching the stuff with Big Drew and Lashley, and you're like, wow, man, they've probably were like 2 or 3 minutes they've gone out, and then they need to focus their brain on doing something else to G up just randomly. You were just watching it, and even at the start of the first match, I'm going, something's going to go wrong. It was a horrible feeling. I felt you could see that the rain was getting into the ring, and I'm going, fuck, when they're going up to the top rope, I'm going, that rope's slidey. It just felt like everything was, oh, something's going to go wrong here. Did you get that feeling?
I got a feeling it was the worst WrestleMania in years. As a feeling, I go, I don't know what everybody's talking about, Grado. I've seen a lot of people saying that they really enjoyed it. I think people have just missed seeing crowds there. That was, that was on the level of like a 6-hour Raw to me. That was a disaster at WrestleMania. I knew there were good points. And I'll talk about the good points later when I'm doing a list of like my 3 favourite matches or whatever, right? But
let me ask you this, Drab, I'm cutting you off, right? But how shite was that cold open push for a WrestleMania?
Fucking terrible. For one thing, they did it last year. The same thing, and then they went, we'll just do it again. It was rotten last year. And it was rotten this year on night 1. It was rotten on night 2 again.
No eagle. It was no eagle. I want to see the eagle. And I want to see
it's disappointing for more people than some people were more disappointed than others in the eagle, but it was just it felt right. I'm going to talk about the Fiend. I can't hold back any longer, boys. This gimmick, right? This storyline is a fucking disaster, right? Now, I am so sour on this storyline, and I am so sour on that character that I would genuinely, if I walked into WWE tomorrow and was handed the reins, he'd be fucking out. Bray Wyatt would be out. And I think he's a talented guy, but that's how fucking far gone this is and how bad this is. I'd be like, just fucking, I wish you well in your future endeavours, mate. Fuck off.
No, I don't see that.
Mate, genuinely, because let me tell you something. There is a perception out there that he himself is responsible for some of these storylines. The aspects that work, he is called a creative genius and all that. He's like coming up with this stuff, right? And I've no doubt this is you can see this guy when he cuts his promos and when he does his performance stuff. He's a talented guy, right? First things first, I have yet to fucking see a great Bray Wyatt match. I've yet to see it. I saw it, to be fair, when he had the tag matches against the Shield with the Wyatt family, right? Worked beautifully there, but I have yet to see it. And solo, there hasn't been one good Fiend match. Name me a good Fiend match. One. Name me one fucking good Fiend match.
No, I know what you mean. I don't know. I was looking at it as, no, I've no watched all this, the red light stuff. I've no seen all this stuff. I've seen wee bits and bobs because you bury it so much that I go into it and go, I need to see this. And I go, that was a lot of shit. But I've never sat through it. And I just thought, I watched it and I just thought, right, I put myself as I went. I'd probably like that. I'd like this guy.
Grado, what is a storyline in professional wrestling for? What is the point in it?
Well, to get folk over, innit?
But to get folk over and build towards what? What are you building towards?
A payoff.
A match. A fucking wrestling match, right? So when the development that we get at WrestleMania, no on a Raw.
No, you're bang on about how the way it ended.
At WrestleMania, the development you get is what? Is is it? Oh, maybe what's going to be Bray Wyatt versus Alexa Bliss? What is it? What are we like? What are they selling? What are they selling to us there? There is nothing there. It makes no sense. Well, the one thing I was happy about with that match was that Randy Orton got the opportunity to make the Fiend look like the fucking joke that it is by RKOing him, pinning him, and fucking walking out and getting that stink off him. And Randy Orton's probably said in the back, says, I'm beating this guy and I'm fucking moving on because I have spewed enough black tar. I have spewed my last fucking mouthful of black tar. Can you imagine them saying to Stone Cold Steve Austin, see for the next 6 months, you're going to be spewing black tar everywhere? He'd have been, get the fuck, man. No. For what? So this fucking fat guy can fucking push me about?
But you see, I like watching fat guys like him. I think he looks different. It's a different character. You know, you're watching guys that are doing the shoot fighting with wearing no socks. I don't like all that. I like a wee bit of character.
You know I love a big guy. You know I love a big guy.
I know.
But no a big guy that never gives you a decent match or never gives you a decent payoff.
I thought the bout was all right. I just, because it was, and it wasn't long. It wasn't long. I don't know. I was pulled in with all that shit. I enjoyed it, and the commentary's a pain in the arse. The commentary does nothing. It makes it sound daft. It's all the way through. Michael Cole's fucking rotten. He does, and they're all rotten.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the annoying thing about the Fiend, and this is why I always feel like people say I bin the Fiend on this show, right? But I kind of feel like I really don't, because I feel for Bray Wyatt, because I kind of feel like there's a guy in there who probably can have these great matches, and probably the gimmick is somewhere in there, but this isn't it. There is no way this is it. And the frustrating thing is in that match, you had that great visual of him coming out the top of the Jack in the Box, right?
Which, by the way, I've got to laugh at Michael Cole. Cornette said this and all his, but I noticed it and all. He's coming out of that box-like structure. It's a fucking box. It's a box.
It's a Jack in the Box, right?
It's a Jack in the Box.
So he comes out of that, and that's a great visual. And at the end of the match, Alexa Bliss there with the black stuff pouring down on it is a great visual and all, right? But there's no focus on the purpose of the fucking wrestling match, the purpose of the wrestling angle, and the purpose of the wrestling storyline, which is to sell the next ticket. What are you selling the next ticket for here? Because I'm no buying a ticket to watch a grown woman dancing about like a wee lassie while a guy in a fucking cartoon mask chases her about. I'm not buying that fucking ticket.
Can I play devil's advocate? Pardon the pun. But you talk about storyline, Rab, right? See what I'm on. I'm fucking invested now. I want to see where the fuck it's going next. You know, you talk about soap opera.
Nowhere.
Listen, I want.
We've had a year of this. We've had a year yet. It's not going anywhere.
Where's it going though? Where's it going?
Nowhere. It's not going anywhere. We've had a year. We've had
next week to go. Right. Well, why did that happen? What's going to happen next with it? And
no. We've had a year of the storyline now. We've had a year of this stuff with Alexa Bliss, and where has it went? Nowhere. Where all it's led to is Randy Orton going, RKO, I'm fucking out of here. That's all that's happened. Mm-hmm. And it's a problem that Bray Wyatt has, because the same problem that Bray Wyatt had before he put the Fiend mask on was he'd come out and he would cut these big cryptic promos about, something's going to happen, and fucking nothing happened.
That's true.
It never delivers, and it never pays off. No. See the old WWE. See back in the day, see in the Attitude Era, right? Here's what they would have done. See if they could have done the exact same thing, right? They could have had the same thing. The Fiend comes out the Jack in the Box. Wow, amazing visual. The Fiend goes in the ring with Randy Orton. Oh, here we go. They're finally meeting each other. Alexa Bliss is up on top there. What is going on? She's got this black stuff coming for her fucking head. What's going on here? But the next thing that would have happened in the old WWF is some fucking 7-foot big fucking monster guy would have marched into that ring and not fuck out the Fiend. That's what would have happened. And you'd have went, who's that guy? Mm-hmm. When was the last time the WWF just out of nowhere brought in some big fucking guy and everybody was like, we don't know who this is. He's no came up through NXT and went, oh, thanks so much for letting me be a wrestler. Oh, cuddle Triple H. When was the last time they brought in a big fucking monster and just dropped him into a storyline? And that's what that needs.
They did it at WrestleMania, the Apollo Crews match.
But even that wound me up, John. That big geezer, because I know it's all about repackaging and stuff like that, but this was clearly the guy that was fighting in the bare bum fucking matches. You know what I mean?
I know that guy. Listen, the point is, when Kane turned up in that match, you were going, I can't wait to see Undertaker fighting this guy, right? When fucking Undertaker was doing all his mad Ministry of Darkness stuff and crucifying Stone Cold and kidnapping Stephanie McMahon and all that, you were going, I can't wait until Stone Cold gets his horns on him. What are we waiting for here? Because all I'm waiting for really is Alexa Bliss to, I don't know, what am I waiting for? Maybe Alexa, all the Fiend fans like that. Oh, I think Alexa Bliss must be possessed by the spirit as Sister Abigail, and I think that maybe Bronson. I'm like, fucking fuck off, man. It just completely does my box in. And
tell us how you really feel, Rabbit.
It says something about how great Randy Orton is, that he can survive that. That he can spend months, right, in that fucking circus of shite and still come out and move on to something else. You know what I mean? It says something about that guy. Because that character, The Fiend, is a disaster. Get fucking rid of it. Get rid of it. And the fact they put the red light back on again, nobody could see properly. Get rid of it. I'm burying that. Let's see what the punters are saying. Boydie 72 wants to put her all Shane taking a Jeff Hardy off a cage. And he's wanting to bury Bad Bunny. He's not interested in that. Henderson Experience wants to put her the whole thing. Never felt like it dragged. Main events proved exactly why they were main events. And he wants to bury the red light bulb. And the finish was woeful, he says, of The Fiend. The visual of Bliss was great. Agreed. Overall, a terrible White Ender feud. Terrible. Every feud that The Fiend has ends terribly. Karate Warrior 2. Boys, I know there's going to be a bury put over for this week, so I'm going to bury this Brian Alvarez talking absolute shite and bury you guys for not having his review of the epic Grado Abyss Monsters Ball match yet.
Next week.
No,
next week.
Week after. Steve Stoner says wants to bury Titus, having to stand there on his industry's biggest platform in front of the world like a straw while a known racist calls him brother and uses a black man's spotless character to rehabilitate his own public image and reanimate his crusty career. Sorry,
the
Titus.
The whole Hogan stuff in Titus was very uncomfortable. First, you've got Hogan out with his fucking house show bandana for the red and white, the red and yellow, and Titus coming out, jumping about, and hey, come on, as if he's on the camp shows at Butlins to absolute crickets, and then the two of them trying to remember the lines and waiting, and Hogan. And I actually think when the music hit at the end of the promo, you could see Hogan turning around to Titus going, I'm sorry, man. You know what I mean? It was pure. You can see it was so horrible. And then the second night they're dressed up as pirates and fucking Hogan's got his Nike Air Maxis on. Do you know what I mean? He's just fucking, it just looks so forced. And it's Hogan now as becoming that when that's it, mate. We'll never, when that music hits, it's not going to mean anything anymore.
Vince McMahon obviously has a loyalty to Hulk Hogan, but the best thing that he could do with that loyalty is shuffle that guy away into the fucking wings and don't bring him back out. Because
what is that going to do? Who was...
He got booed out the fucking...
Oh, aye, mate. There was a fucking horrible... It was a horrible reception, and it just felt uncomfortable. He looked uncomfortable. Titus looked uncomfortable. It done nothing, and there was nothing there. It just felt... And it wasn't
shameful. Listen, Steve Stoner's right. He should have listener of the week for this because there won't be a better bit of input than this. It's shameful putting Hulk Hogan out there standing beside that guy today.
That's what I'm saying. If fucking WWE have more neck and a bag of giraffes when it comes to stuff like that, they will pop. There's no way they've no thought about all the stuff that's happened with Hogan and Titus being the great guy he is. Put them the two together and expect to think we're daft. You know
this is exactly it. The sense that I got for this WrestleMania was the WWE think we are fucking stupid. You know, there was a lot of these. There was a lot of this in this WrestleMania where it was like the WWE think we are fucking daft, like they wee Bailey moments and stuff like that, where you're kind of like, you think are we 7 years old? Like, what is this? This is a woman that fucking carried the WWE to a great extent over this closed door period, and this is what you're getting, all this ridiculous crap.
I tell you what, I'm just feeling in case nobody brings it up, but you know that way. I'm watching and I'm thinking it's at the start with Drew and Lashley. I just felt to myself, fucking hell, man, God has scored it in for Drew. I just felt that like, with the whole shenanigans at the start and everything was forced, nothing went to plan. Because in our heads, you remember last week was it on a show I called that they would open? And I thought it would be, you know, Drew would be the first guy and everything would be like first in the bump. But it was nothing like that. See all that shit? You said we were going to talk about it, all this shit about all the wrestlers at the top of the ramp stunning and clapping horns. Roman Reigns stunning in his suit. I mean, who cares? Just get into it. And And then for
Why? Listen, Grado, you're spot on. Why are all these faces and heels standing together at the start of fucking
suits and
WrestleMania?
all that, and
At the start of
fuck off.
WrestleMania?
And we don't even need to see Vince, man. We don't even. The Nicky man standing there. We want to see wrestling. We've seen a full year of talking.
See where I'm all standing out there. They should have put up on the screen behind them on a big fucking giant screen. Wrestling's kid on. They might have just put up behind them. You know what I mean? Because they're about to go. You're going to see all these people tear each other's heads off in a minute. But first, we're going to stand out here and fucking greet, looking at yous.
I had people, because we had Drew on my radio show last week. I had a group full of non-wrestling fans that went, right, we're going to watch WrestleMania. And they all stayed up for it, mate. I was mortified. No, just with it was like I had G'd this up about how much of a spectacle it is with the fireworks and the singing, and obviously it all went tits up, and they're standing there with their fucking ponchos on and stuff like that. But even they're watching the Drew, and they enjoyed the match. But it's funny because like on the Friday they were going like that to me. They were going, right, we're going to put stuff on the radio on a Monday to go to big up the interview that's on Facebook. Will he win? And I'm going, he'll win. He's going, to sure. I'm giving it. Listen, mate, I'm a wrestler too. Listen. Drew McIntyre's winning this, so they were getting the new WWE champion, kind of the kind of voiceover stuff. I'm like, listen to it. So they watched it and fucking see when they never won, they were getting after them nuts. They were going, "You fucking told us he would have won. This is shite. Wrestling's push."
Unbelievable.
But look, what did you make of Drew not going over? I know they've pushed him for the last year, but.
It was a terrible decision.
Listen,
I don't buy Bobby Lashley as the world champ. I'm sorry, I don't.
He's fucking mad. I thought you would.
I don't buy him as the world. Listen,
buy it would be Urab because he's fucking massive. He's a fucking wrestler. That boy.
Roman Reigns, right, is massive, and you buy it, and he's a hard man, and he's a wrestler. Bobby Lashley, and I've felt this for years. I just don't. I know. He's strong, and I know he looks good, and he has a good look and all that, but I just kind of feel like whenever I watch a Bobby Lashley match, I don't fucking buy it. I don't believe it. It's just something there, you know? And the guy it wasn't that long ago, the guy was like in terrible angles with Lana and fucking Rusev and was a joke. You know what I mean? They've no done the work. And I know the Hurt business has been good and has been successful, but that should have been Drew. And I'm not just saying this as a Scottish guy. That Drew should have got his fucking reward.
Well, it'll still come.
But it's pie now. The moment's lost.
You think?
The moment's lost, but the moment was lost as soon as WrestleMania started. It wasn't the way that I envisioned it. You're going, right, when a crowd comes back and Drew comes out, it's going to be... They never built it around Drew. It should have been built like... Right, you know, open the show, and the open is about how Drew chased his dream and he won it in a fucking in a garage, and it should have been now Drew McIntyre is coming, and there's going to be a crowd, and it should have been built around that, so that there was a moment when he came out.
But there was also just for me just a sense that this was a kind of a non-event anyway. It's what you say, Grado, about looking at the card and going, is this really the card? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because the reward for Drew really should have been walking out at the start of that match. Going into the ring facing a fucking Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. Vince should have opened up his pocketbook, paid Brock Lesnar the money, and got him in there, because that's the one that the live crowd should have got to see first, because that was the kind of storyline they missed out on. Mm-hmm. That was what they get stolen after them, was that Drew and Brock thing. And that was what they should have get delivered on that night.
There is that argument now, Rab, and you hear it on other podcasts now, that they don't need to rely on stuff like that anymore. That's what got me think about this whole Peacock thing. They never advertise. They never booked The Rock. They never booked Stone Cold. They never booked Triple H, because now they don't need to, because buys don't really matter to them now, don't they? No, it's all Peacock. It's all they own it all. So they're no trying to sell shows. They're not trying to sell tickets. Not to sell. They're just putting it together and putting it out, because they don't need to rely on it anymore. Who cares? They've got their deal. The money's there.
Mark wants to put our Mandy Rose decking it. Sliding in her way down, and he wants to bury Grado riffing on last week's podcast and giving him the book. Sorry, man, I kind of done it earlier on. I know, sorry, but I hate when folk do that in podcasts. Sorry. Ian Drew Dice Clay, who is my favourite wrestling follow on Twitter, wants to put over WWE's Kane video at the Hall of Fame and using it the red by Chevelle, which was perfect for a retrospective of the character. And he wants to bury the fans in the front row on their phones from yesterday night. First time they've been let out of the house in a year, and they're glued to Twitter. That's sad. Probably glued to you on Twitter, mate. Ian Drew Dice Clay. Bronze Cello wants to put over Craig Anthony versus Daz Black for this week's ICW. The Kez cash-in also, the comeback of the year. Margaret getting the phone call to leave the big red light on for the Fiend. Suddenly our T-shirt is back on sale. Our T-shirt's going to be flying out the doors. Thank you. And once they bury the ending of the Fiend match, I agree with the crowd. Fucking boo.
Am I the only one that liked this a wee bit?
Of course you are. Ian Milne says, listen, I mean, it's so annoying, isn't it? Because the entrance was good. The fucking visual at the end was great. But the content was garbage, apart from the fact that Randy Orton just finished the guy.
I liked Randy's trunks.
Ian Milne, Randy looked great. Ian Milne wants to bury how disappointing the Fiend Orton match was. It was a pile of hot garbage, such a poor opener tonight too. And wants to put out the performance of Bad Bunny. I was so shocked to see how well he actually did. Respect to him, and so want to see more of him in the future, says Ian. Chris wants to bury KO and Sammy, Cesaro and Rollins.
Can I just say something about Bad
Hold
Bunny?
on a fucking minute. I need to read this.
Sorry.
Once they bury KO and Sammy, he's just saying they're short. Cesaro and Rollins, Big E and Apollo felt just a wee bit rushed in parts for me, but that would be his negatives. The other matches you're negative about, KO and Sammy and Cesaro and Rollins, he fucking kidding me on?
The matches were tremendous. KO and Sammy.
Are you kidding me on?
Cesaro and Rollins was good.
I think they're rushed.
I did not enjoy Big E and Apollo. I'm sorry.
No, there wasn't a good match.
That belting one another to start, and you know, I mean, that's Sayre. The kendo sticks are Sayre, and also their gear was too nice. See, when you're in a wrestling match like that, when you're fighting with tables and gongs and all that, I get distracted with the fucking flashy gear that they wear. It just doesn't look right. If you're going to batter fuck out of somebody like that in a big grudge match, fucking chill out with the colours.
I still can't help but think there was a version of WrestleMania out there where Big E had won that fucking Royal Rumble and Big E and Roman Reigns were tearing the roof off. I'm telling you.
How come?
Ben wants to put over the Fiend's entrance. Seth and Cesaro, great match, and Bad Bunny, what a match. Wouldn't object to seeing Murphy him.
No,
That's what we need. That's what we need. More wee skinny guys.
Well,
Sorry, Grado. You saying?
Listen, I agree that he done well to. I only watched a wee bit of it, right? I only did, but everybody's screaming themselves with these celebrities that come in and they spend. Listen, I don't know. I just think it doesn't feel right that he was doing all that. Do you
want me to tell you? Do you want me to tell you who else
it looks right?
Oh, don't Grado. Do you want me to tell you who else did quite well? Back in the day, fucking David Arquette. He was doing all right in the ring back in the day and was respectful of everybody and all that. Mm-hmm. And yet everybody told him to fuck off, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, Bad Bunny came in and he did do well. Oh, he did well in that match, but now he can fuck off because he's not a wrestler. Fuck off.
Okay. No, but
can
I feel for you tonight?
All these people are going like that. Oh, I wouldn't mind seeing Bad Bunny again. What?
Aye.
Fighting
who?
You
don't need to see it again. And by the way, it's because
it was stretching fucking the boundaries of belief for me that he was going toe to toe with The Miz, who was just the fucking WWE champion last month. But he can do a flip, but he done a jump. Fuck off, man.
I tell you what,
see when these TV stars get involved in wrestling, you know, like Burniston and Still Game Stars.
Listen,
but no.
There was a guy, and I can't remember his name, but he was a big NFL player, and he wrestled at Bound for Glory a couple of years ago, and he was 10 times better than Bad Bunny, but that will never get recognised because it's TNA. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was fucking superb.
The Miz made Bad Bunny look like a fucking $1 million out there. The Miz, who people quite regularly shit on this show when they fucking call in, with no conception that guy is one of the most dependable fucking guys in that business. Right. Sorry.
Right,
Chris wants to bury Damien Priest's 9-year-old lassie just back for summer holiday in Mallorca hairstyle.
Do that one again.
Chris wants to.
D'Angelo Williams was the guy's name. Sorry.
All right. And Chris wants to put over everything else about that match. For the entrance to the ending, it was incredible. Bad Bunny looked excellent, and that shows how superb Miz and Morrison are. Yes, there it is. Also, bury anybody that buries the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Shame Randy won, because he is and always has been totally boring and overrated. But it's exciting to see what happens next with Bliss and Wyatt. I do so love that woman acting like a 7-year-old girl. Fucking gives a break, Chris. Get rid of Randy Orton. Let's see Mary Alexa Bliss skipping about with a wee fucking skirt on. Fuck off. Fucking had it with a show, man. Scott wants to put her Bianca winning the title. Oh, I won the belt. Ricky! I won the belt. I did it! Oh, I did it! Fuck off, man.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, it was nice. Yeah, mine when Stone Cold beat fucking Shawn Michaels, he was like, Mike Tyson, I did it. Give me a cuddle, Mike Tyson, I done it. Fucking he's a brick. You're a wrestler.
Rocky cried at the end. Fucking Rocky.
Sound like a spot where she gorilla press Sasha up the stairs was dynamite. Listen, I'm no binning her. It was a great match. You know, Sasha's brilliant. God, right. Jason wants to put her Bad Bunny actually selling his cells a wrestler. That Canadian Destroyer was hell of a decent. Listen, here's a secret about the Canadian Destroyer. Fucking anybody can do a Canadian Destroyer. Anybody. See the guy you're doing it to, he's doing all the fucking work. Wrestling's kid on ya. Fucking Straub fucking Marks.
I can vouch for this. As in everybody, it's another guy. It's totally
fucking bunch of idiots.
It's the easiest thing I've ever done. It looks shit.
Punching my fucking mic here, man, at these fucking arseholes.
Aye. Try it in your bed the day we, if anybody's listening, go up the stairs, try it in your bed with your brother.
Dave your wee bra and you'll see how good Bad Bunny is.
Your
wee bra goes bouncing at that fucking window.
You like what he's burying, though?
He wants to bury the rest of Mania because it was absolute pish. So thank God he's back on side. Drew putting on that sensational performance and being distracted for the L. What was
fucking
that distraction? It was the weirdest thing. Well, it was the weirdest thing, that distraction. Garbage. Alexa turning on the Fiend and setting up a Firefly magic show match. Get the whole thing as far away fuck as possible. Even Vince Russo is getting the angle, the side eyes. Hey, right, that's enough. I like Cesaro, but a full-time mid-carder should never be put over Seth freaking Rollins. Hold on a minute here. Strowman ripping through the cage was decent. Nah, I like that bit. But Shane McMahon is about 60-year-old now, isn't he? And still shuffling about in Jordans like he's 18. Thanks for your input, folks. It was a pleasure. It's the part of the show where we invite you, the listeners, to do a run-in. Come on and get Grado's thoughts on Warhammer Quest Curse City, or get Rab's favourite macaroni cheese recipe. Macaroni cheese. On this week, it's the winner of the Patreon WrestleMania quiz. It's Craig Fryatt. So we know how he does his macaroni cheese. He fries it, doesn't he? He fries it. Come on, Craig Fryatt. Well, if it isn't Craig Fryatt.
You never met Craig Fryatt?
Hello there, Grado.
How you doing, Craig? Have you never met him, Rab?
Never met Craig Fryatt, no. This
guy is the smartest guy. We have a football daft quiz and he wins it every week now. It's getting a bit annoying because he's I thought I was good at it, but he's better. It's fucking annoying.
Who? Right, okay. If you're, do you know a lot about football? Who was Michael Moles' wife? It was his ma.
I was about to say Mrs. Moles.
Michael Moles' wife's his ma.
What do you mean?
What? That's just a fact.
She was not picking up. Did he not got? She kind of like.
You're getting tongue tied here. You're going to tongue tied here because you're going to have to explain this bit the next time you meet Walter Smith and Alan McCoy up at some function somewhere, or some golf thing.
What were you doing slagging Theresa Moles in that wrestling podcast, you prick?
Listen, let me tell you something, right? This is Craig Fryatt's moment. It's not your moment, Grado, right? Sorry, he's won the league. What else do you want? All right? Mind your neck in.
Sorry, mate.
And don't you ever fucking film a video on Neil Lennon again, Grado, right? I don't think that's funny. I've seen you in a state, by the way. I've seen you like that. So, okay. We've all been there. Craig, have you ever been like that?
Absolutely. I've got a tale to tell in Football Daft about it.
Have you?
Well, tell it here. Why would you save it for Football Daft? Tell it here.
Because it's a feature of Football Daft.
Oh, there we go. Very nice. Oh, no,
keep up with the times, man.
I'll keep it for the one with the more listeners. I'll keep it for that one. I'll keep it. See, you know how to work it, didn't you? You like your wrestling, Craig?
Yeah. Yeah, fan for almost 30 years.
30 years, man.
Do you go to the wrestling shows?
Do
you go to the wrestling shows?
No.
No.
Sorry, I've seen them once. They performed at our local Highland Games.
Oh, did they?
Arquette.
Oh, Christ.
Grado.
Oh, mate.
No, you said that your man Craig here has been on Football Daft a few times, right? And he said to me, that's what he said before he came on, right? Craig, right? I'm just going to put it right out there. He says, this guy just knows everything. He just knows all the stuff. and you try and catch him out, and he just know. How do you know so much stuff, Craig? What's the deal?
Don't know. There's something here right in my head.
Have you? Well, there must be something very right in your head if you remember all this stuff. Have you got a photographic memory? Have you got a good memory?
Random shit.
Good for trivia. Are you good at like pub quizzes?
So.
Yes, he will be good.
Do you watch the game shows on the telly and play along?
The chase every night.
You watch a chase every night, aye?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had like some kind of quite right. Grado, you chat to Craig just now, and I'm going to try and find a few trivia questions.
Oh, I've already got some.
Have you got some?
How many teeth does an adult human have?
Come on, Craig.
Have a go, mate.
I don't know. We're talking about Chick Charlie or Joe Jordan.
A random human, mate. Right, hold on. We'll do another one. That's maybe
Very odd.
right. What does DNA stand for? It's very odd, by the way. You're right.
National Dyslexics Association.
With the DNA.
So that's a beautifully clever answer, that as well.
No, I can't even pronounce it.
This is a smart guy. Let's right. So this is interesting because Craig, no offense to the other listeners of the show, right? But most people that come on the run in are dafties, right? So it's interesting to have somebody on who's intelligent. What's your take on the current wrestling scene as an intelligent guy?
I think it's good that there's the competition. You know, you go in like some of the forums and it's so you're an AEW mark, you're a WWE mark, and it's like just be happy that we've got so many promotions and products that we can enjoy. You know, there's that side of things. I think, you know, well, I'm 40, so I mean there are some things where I'm like, you know, who's this random celebrity? I never heard of Logan Paul or Bad Bunny, but that's okay. But
Bad Bunny's John's favourite. John loves Bad Bunny.
Oh, that was match of the night on Saturday. We all said that in the Zoom call. But it's an oversaturated product. You know, I think if you go back and look at a perfect episode of wrestling, you look at the January 4th Raw, 2 hours long, Foley win the title. Yeah, just the right length. Every story, every segment had a storyline. Every character had a storyline. It wasn't just like random shit thrown together.
Who was the lead writer in that episode?
Yo, bro,
The man
himself. Exactly.
who John was been talking to.
You know, and this is what we've been talking about recently. We've been talking about, you know, you think back to these perfect episodes of Monday Night Raw. It was his stuff, I think. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of other, you know, he needed a filter, but yeah, it was good. And I think a lot of that depends on the direction that Vince wanted to take it, because it wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Craig, what do you think the fact that the very first match started right on WrestleMania, and
yeah,
I've always been aware of this, right? I've always been aware of this, but regardless of any of the content or anything like that, this thing where they change camera angle at every strike, every punch, every strike or whatever, I don't know how they get away with this, because it's repulsive to watch.
It's fucking. It makes you motion sick. It feels like you're away in a bus. I hate it.
It's like watching a Transformers movie. It's like, what the fuck just happened there?
It's dreadful.
They need to calm down. That, don't get me wrong. I like that big fancy camera they've got for them walking down. See that one where it's like portrait mode on your phone? I like that.
I get like a computer.
I like the angle they did when Riddle came down the scooter. And he was at the top of the ramp and it sort of like looked upwards to him and he just like sailed past.
I see, that's fine. That's fine, but it's during the match, man. Why did it just stick it to the hard cam and then the what do they call that cam again? Is it the what do you call him? Is it the Crockett cam? They call it in ringside. Just leave they do it. Doesn't need. You know what I mean?
The smoke-filled armour is like, your classic footage. It's the hard cam.
It's the best, isn't it? It's like, remember World of Sport? They had fucking GoPros on every layer of the turnbuckle, and it was like, that's too much. And they had one up top. The one up top was good for ladder matches. That's good, but it's too much.
The first thing I would do if I walked into WWE was that. The first thing I would do when I went into WWE would be to tell them to stop that way they're cutting, the way they're directing the matches, the way they're doing it in the booth, constant cutting between all the cameras is just a disgrace to me.
You've seen Beyond the Mat, Vince makes movies.
Well, I know. I think he's getting carried away, but isn't he?
Well, you've got to remember we as wrestling fans are at the mercy of a 74-year-old nutcase.
Some man, isn't he? It's gonna. Did you enjoy WrestleMania, Craig?
Do you know what? I did. Then watched it back and listened to the show last night. the podcast last night, and you start to think. I almost thought, is it a transitional WrestleMania? Like 12 and 13 were, where, I've said for years that WrestleMania basically became Slamboree, like the original Slamborees when they brought back like the legends, and they've had such an over-reliance on legends and part-timers that there wasn't any, with the exception of Shane. Whereas in 12 and 13, there wasn't any celebrities on it, so they are building their own stars, and it's encouraging because you start to think now that Lashley, Reigns, Orton, Real Deal don't need to bring in a 50-year-old for $2 million to sell tickets.
But it's when I come on with John right away. How do you enjoy Mania? The first thing that and I even said it to Shah last week. I'm going, is that the card for the night? I'm going, where's Triple H? Where's Stone Cold? There's no, a wee HBK hanky or there. That would get me buzzing. But then am I thinking, was it better off without them? I don't think it was. But I don't mean, for fucking your man Farouk, who I'm always going on come, oh, damn, I don't mean, but, you're wanting something. I wanted somebody to come out.
That segment where they did when they were playing like rock and robots with bloody Dangerous Danny Davis a few years ago. I was like, what the heck was that shit about?
Well, it just feels as if it was missing. There was nobody like last year. We had Goldberg. I was still infatuated with Goldberg. We had Taker. You understood that there was nobody else because of the pandemic at the time, but I thought they would have flew somebody in. I don't know, Mankind. Hey, come on, he's here. It's WrestleMania. The crowd. There was nothing like that. But I think you're right. But is that what they're trying to do? They're trying to create their own.
Maybe I think they are. I mean,
we're getting older. Remember?
Well, we are getting older. I mean, what was it? WrestleMania 31, NWO coming out in the Sting Triple H match. I marked it like for that.
Now, it's funny, mate, because I watched that on Sunday to G myself up for Mania, and I loved that. But do you know what? They ruined that. They ruined that in terms of
they ruined that by having it in
the fucking 300th show come out, and it's not the same. They spile it, I mean, there was only so many times we wanted to see the New Age Outlaws come back. Only so many times we wanted to see Nash come out. It doesn't mean anything now. Did you see the nick of them backstage?
That's why Austin's so good, because it's every few years.
Yes.
It's less is more. I mean, how many fucking times are you going to see X-Pac on a Legends reunion show?
You know what I mean?
There's just a lack of
two-time Hall of Famer X-Pac.
Two-time.
There's just a lack of innovation. I kind of feel like out there now. I was thinking that when I was watching the Hall of Fame thing, right? And I know the Hall of Fame thing is like, it's a shoot, right? But still, back in the day, by this time, somebody at a Hall of Fame, like fucking Big Sexy would have fucking powerbombed, he would have fucking powerbombed somebody through that stage while it's happening, and everybody in shock that something had kicked off at the Hall of Fame. Fucking they must on in there like waving is the worst thing at WrestleMania.
That happened in 2019 with some random attack Bret Hart.
Oh, that's right.
Craig, here's a question. Have you got any questions for us or anything? We need to.
Yeah. What match really made you as a wrestling fan?
I'm going to say Cactus Jack Triple H Royal Rumble 2000. Remember, I was older. I'm younger than you, so I was 11, 12 at the time, and that's when I really went, this is tremendous.
I think for me, it was probably Hitman, but I mean, I was a wrestling fan before this, but the one that really made me feel like, oh my god, this is just the best thing in the world was probably Hitman and Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam '91.
What about you?
First wrestling VHS tape I got, because I got into wrestling, I moved up to Aberdeen and we were collecting those WWF classic trading cards, but everyone was doing it, so I started doing it, and then got this best of Saturday night's main event, and it was Hulk Hogan against Big Boss Man at a steel cage, and Hogan suplexed Boss Man off the cage.
It was John Green. Were you in John's class at school?
Wow.
I remember, like, because you got all the tapes. Like, I remember having that tape. I remember there was one called Fans Favourites, which I remember.
Yeah.
SummerSlam '88, I think, was my first tape, and that the one that I got into, and was it '88 when Ultimate Warrior just runs down, batters the honky tonk man, and pins him like in the quickest time possible. I thought that's fucking brilliant.
My memory of the tapes is that the plastic was clear plastic.
Aye.
You remember this? It was like clear plastic.
Clear plastic, then the liner.
Aye, and then the
So
liner.
I used to go down to my grand's for summer holidays in Cambuslang, and it'd just be like tapping £1 off for every 3 hours and after log the video shops and just like chronologically watching every WWF pay-per-view. And you know, if you just watched SummerSlam '89 and Survivor Series '89 was taken out, then fuck, I've got to skip over to Royal Rumble '90.
But this is the thing, though, innit? Do you think this affects the way we look at some stuff as well? Because like you wouldn't see an Adam Cole on any of the tapes. You wouldn't see somebody that looked like Adam Cole on any of the tapes unless he was like getting flung about by Akeem or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like it just wouldn't be there.
The other thing you've got is, and you know, I've started developing a blog site, but I'm showing the same commitment to it as Grado shows to his Twitch account.
Fun enough, mate. Exclusive. I've just downloaded an N64 emulator. I should be back on Twitch very, very shortly. Might change my handle because I'm buying with a fucking flight simulator.
But see if you go like on a Wikipedia page and then like click a WrestleMania and then count, and then go 10 years on, and then count who was on 10 years previously. If you go like from 7 to 17, it's like 1. If you go 17 to 27, it's 5. If you go 27 to 37, it's 10. It's discount 17 gimmick battle royal, but I mean it's great the guys have got long-term employment like which they never used to have in the 80s and 90s. But you know, I mean, fuck me, Miz for 15 years.
I know, mate. Mate. Remember,
solid hand, though. He's a solid hand. Let me tell you.
Oh, absolutely, and he's mainstream now, so you can't fault it. But you know,
Craig, listen, thanks so much for coming on. It was nice to have a chat with somebody that's got a brain in their head.
Which famous graffiti artist comes from Bristol?
Banksy.
Aye, that's it. You're right.
There you go.
That's a chase one. As soon as they say graffiti artist, Banksy.
All right. Well, hold on. Just one more.
Which flying mammal? A bat.
Right. Okay. Just one more time then. Right. And in 2020, McFly reunited and released a new album. Name the 4 band members.
Grado. I'm 40.
You got him.
I reckon is it Doogie? Harry, Dougie.
Charlie? Was that Charlie?
No, that was busted.
That was busted.
Doogie, Harry. Oh fuck! What are they? Oh, I'm done.
Danny and Tom.
One's a radio guy. It's his job to know this stuff.
Aye.
He knows all this kind of pal. He's probably interviewed them all.
He probably has.
Have I? Well, I didn't interview them. It was set up.
He produced it. He produced the interview.
I interviewed Wet yesterday.
Did you?
Oh, I heard that.
Just Tommy?
Aye, just Tommy, aye.
That's no Wet, mate.
I know, well, first question.
That's just a drummer.
First question was, you still pals with Marty Pello?
What'd they say?
I mean, yes. I mean, my Tom's, what'd you call him again? Marty's one of my favourite, he's one of my best mates. And all that. I mean, I've not spoken to him since 2016. Aye, right. You fucking don't like him. It's quite obvious, but anyway. You know what I mean? And when those eyes, set me on fire, baby. Sweet little mystery, and cry. That sweet little mystery. Make me cry. Cry. Shingle Willie.
You know that Marty Pello was doing a wee thing during the lockdown where it's like his fans would request a song and he'd be like, okay, this one's for Kathy out there. She's requested a wee number. So this is a wee old classic for her. The very thought of you and all the things you do. It's beautiful.
Mate, every one of their posts, if you look for a woman called Elaine McMillan. That's my sister. And in every post she writes, hi, I'm Grado's brother. Can I Grado's brother? Grado's sister, sorry. Hi, can I request a song? You might know our Graham. Brackets Grado. I was going, stop fucking writing that under his post, you.
Jen up, my wife, when she was a wee lassie, Marty Pello was about all the time because he was pals with. He used to come up to Jen's granny's house all the time. So, that was Mark. When I first met Jen, when I was first going out there, she used to sometimes go like that to me. I and my uncle's pal Mark was blah blah blah, and then she would just say that, and then later on it turned out it was Marty Pello. I was like, why would you not say the first time you told me that story it was Marty Pello?
That's funny. I like that shit.
So there you go. Right, all right, Craig, thanks so much for coming on. It was good to catch up with you, and all the best to you, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I hope as the things relax, you get to see some family and stuff like that this weekend.
Pleasure. Stay safe, gents.
See you later, Craig, mate.
Cheers,
Take care.
Craig.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Peace
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You just made the list!
It's time for the list of wrestling daft, and let's get right into it. What won the vote was top 3 matches of WrestleMania, and I'll do my top 3 matches right off the top of my head. I have to say, number 3 for me was Cesaro and Seth Rollins. I thought it was a great match. I don't think Seth Rollins has ever had a bad WrestleMania. If he calls himself Mr. WrestleMania, I'm happy with that because he's gave us some amazing moments. And I just thought that was a no bullshit, genuine, organic, the crowd behind Cesaro. And he also done a burst out greeting at the end, which is a tonic. Number 2, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which I just thought was... They guys are just...
They know what they're doing.
Oh my God.
They're
great.
They probably spent 5 minutes coming up with that match because they're so used to each other and know what they're doing. They would have had that up their sleeve, mate. No bother to us.
But everything that happened in that ring when they two guys were in there was beautiful to look at.
So slick.
Beautiful to look at. And so, everything had such a great impact. And you look at Sami Zayn and his performance of that character is brilliant.
He's brilliant, Rab. I've never saw that before. See the build-up video? I was pushing myself. I thought, what a character. This is brilliant. He's the best bad guy out.
That's a gimmick. That's a gimmick. And he plays it beautifully. And Kevin Owens is just, when you talk about just a guy who's just like a fan favourite, but who also can go out there and he can deliver. And he's a good size and a good shape. And even again is the kind of Stone Cold style go home on it. It's fucking beautiful. I loved it. Loved that match. But my number 1, actually, I think, all things considered, has got to be the main event of night 2. I think it's got to be the Roman Edge and Daniel Bryan one, because it was a good old fashioned WrestleMania main event, by which I mean it didn't go anything like anybody expected it to go in terms of how the crowd reacted to it. Edge was actually over as fuck, right? Daniel Bryan actually didn't get a great reaction for the crowd, which was interesting. And I loved the finish. I loved a good, strong finish with Roman Reigns walking away dominant, because he's the best thing they've got going now in the WWE. Is that Roman Reigns character is the best thing they've got going now.
100%, man. With the flowers around his neck and all that. It's brilliant. I love it.
He's legitimate. But he looks like he's gorgeous. He looks like a guy who'd kill you. And it was the right decision, and I enjoyed him. I wasn't the best, but it was not the best WrestleMania. Again,
that quote, see the commentary talking about Roman Reigns, it gives you the bulk. I hate all this. As soon as he won, what was it? When will people start noticing that he is the head of the table, and people need to find out he's the head of the table? Shut up. It was annoying me. It really was. See what Michael Cole, he's doing, man, nothing. See when do you know, I think he's feared to put over moves that are not quite as well used in WWE. See that he likes a Death Valley Driver. I don't think he would ever turn around and go Death Valley Driver. He gets somebody else to say it. It's as if he's 2 feet.
Aye.
He's a worse commentator. Beat around the box. Everything is fucking nicknamed and like that. This box-like structure. It's a fucking box. Or I can't go to that, man.
Jim Ross, if he had been commentating on that match back in his prime, would have been just talking about how much of a bastard fucking Roman Reigns is. He wouldn't have been like hitting out with all that stupid head of the table pattern and all that. He would have just been talking about how this guy is fucking no good. He's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? It's like you would have been selling him as a fucking monster heel. Anyway, so let's see what the punters think. Stephen says there was plenty, but a standout for me was Bianca Belair carrying Sasha Banks up the steps with a gorilla press, a star-making moment, performance for the well-deserved new champ. Dan's favourite bit was the start of the Bianca and Sasha match where the emotions took her in the middle of the ring. Come on. Listen, what? I mean, what is this thing? Do you think they're told to do this? Do you think
No.
they're told to do this? Like,
Listen. It's because they're all fucking marks. Every fucking single one of them. Stunning on the stage, greeting because there's crowd. Tweeting The Rock. I'm wearing The Rock's pair of socks today to WrestleMania. I'm wearing this. I'm wearing that. I grew up watching Molly Holly. She done great. No, I'm not, this is not just the women. It sounds like, but it's fucking, they're marks. They're marks. A full lot of them.
See when Brock Lesnar's in there, right?
I'm wearing your t-shirt today.
I get the sense when I watch Brock Lesnar in the WWE ring that he's kind of like, I fucking don't even need to be here. I don't even need to fucking be here. I don't even know. I can't really be bothered. You know what I mean? And I would rather have that than have these people being like, I can't believe I'm at WrestleMania. I can't believe I'm at WrestleMania.
Oh, man.
And see, because see, here's what happens. See when somebody goes, I can't believe I'm at WrestleMania. Me sitting watching it, I think to myself, I can't fucking believe you're at WrestleMania either. Acting like that, you fucking idiot.
Mate, I acted like that backstage when it fucking Slammiversary, man. I got a
Mate, act backstage. Act like it backstage. You can greet as much as you want backstage.
I know.
But don't go out front and fucking act like you're lucky to be there. What wrestler do you want to watch who's acting like they're lucky to be there?
You know what I mean? At Chris Jericho. I've got a Chris Jericho mention on my suitcase and I'm taking it to WrestleMania. I'm wearing this today. Look at me. Retweet me. I'm doing well. I'm a fan.
It's ridiculous. Jim Ross used to talk about Mick Foley being Mrs. Foley's baby boy, right? Or that part, right? But nowadays, it's almost like your wrestlers are out there doing that for themselves now. They're kind of out there going, oh, it's like, I'm a great daughter of someone. My dad will be proud. I'm a great son. I'm so lucky to be here. I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. I've had enough of it.
Aye.
The fans. I can't believe the fans are. The WWE universe is back. The universe is back. Fucking get a grip, man. You shouldn't care less. You should just be saying, Vince, you fucking mad old bastard, pay me and let me get the fuck out of here away for these fucking fans.
It's not, but that's the thing, mate. That's what I'm saying. It's not like that anymore. There's no more Hardy cunts left. There's no more Hardy. You imagine Billy Gunn standing at the tap, the crowd's been for a year and going, and getting emotional. Big Hardy bastard. Come on. He wants paid. He wants paid. He wants to go out and wrestle and do fuck all, take as less bumps as possible and get fucking paid. Everybody wants to be, I've done this today. Look at the views on my YouTube channel.
I would be embarrassed being out at WrestleMania, greeting in the ring, knowing that fucking big sexy Kevin Nash is backstage. You know what I mean?
By the way,
guy who is like
Scott Hall's seen better days, as you know. Holy fuck.
But listen, big sexy Kevin Nash in the back, watching all these people out there being greeting and being so thankful and grateful for being there. He'd be like, fucking come on now. He wasn't thankful or grateful for a fucking minute. That guy was just out there as a businessman doing his fucking work. And because of that, he looked like a big fucking dominant, big fucking cool dude. That's what you do. That's what you do. It's not acceptable to me. It's not acceptable to me, that kind of stuff. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Oh, mate.
Golden Lapolo says...
We're going too hard in here.
No, Golden Lapolo's favourite moment was Bad Bunny's Canadian Destroyer. Oh, fuck off, right?
Tommy
BTD says Sasha getting whipped by a ponytail. Sam's picking only one. Banks versus Belair, taking out the historical context, which is so important for so many. The match just ruled. One of my top 10 a year so far.
It's just mental that folk are taking away for that WrestleMania. That somebody did a Canadian Destroyer. Somebody did a Canadian Destroyer. My fucking Uncle Jimmy could give the Canadian Destroyer to his postman if they took fucking 10 minutes out to go at it in the front garden.
Willie says WrestleMania highlight for me was Logan Paul eating a stunner. Took it like a champ.
To be fair, that was handled right. It was like, you could tell they've went, we're booking you, mate, but you're getting a doing at the end of it, so fair play to that.
Yep. Alexander McClellan's WrestleMania highlight was Hogan coming out dressed like a pirate and getting booed to fuck. Kieran says wrestlers high five in
Fucking
the
Hardy
crowd.
Sketcher trainers on, man.
Kieran says wrestlers high five in the crowd on the way to the ring for getting COVID exists.
Aye.
And Jamie says his favourite bit was Big Roman smashing an old bloke and a happy nerd, which is exactly what we wanted to see. Right. I just feel it's been a terrible WrestleMania.
I thought I liked it, Tarek. Woo! We have just added lots and lots and lots of more content at patreon.com/wrestling daft. Listen to this. There's 2 bonus episodes. They're up there. There's a WrestleMania preview from the Marks, and there's Grado's WrestleMania memories. I've basically sat through all the WrestleManias that I've watched since I was 12-year-old, and I've given you a wee bit of experience. Some have been there, some have been involved. Well, not involved, for fuck's sake, but in the weekend and stuff like that. It's a good week, and it was only maybe half an hour long. We spent 2 hours on it. We've got Mayor soon coming up. Thanks to everybody that joined the stream. Johnny, he gets steaming, he fell asleep, snoring. John showed me the footage, hilarious. We're going to have more soon, and the best way to get involved is sign up to the Patreon. It's easy. There's a couple of tiers. It's easy to work out. Patreon.com/wrestling daft. Hundreds of extra content coming up there. And if you fancy becoming one of our patrons, sign up now. We'd love to welcome you to the roster. That's patreon.com/wrestling daft.
Time now for another Wrestling Daft road story. You send us your story and we act them out as if we're wrestlers on the way back for a show. So let's get in this car and get it started.
WrestleMania, mate.
Oh no, we were wrestling. We were at WrestleMania. We were wrestling, mate. We were at it. Aye. I was everybody thought I was a fiend out there, mate, but I was actually me. I was dressed up as a fiend.
I was in the boat.
You could tell for the tattoos. The tattoos weren't quite right, so that was how you could tell that it wasn't him. It was me.
So a good payoff.
Aye.
If I tell you that I'm a carpet and vinyl fitter about Glasgow, the best.
No, is that what you do on the side? Aye.
I work for Kieran Smith, carpet and vinyl fitting. It's on Facebook and Instagram. Cheap plug. Did I tell you about? Did I hear this right? I went to this guy's house a couple of weeks ago, right? And I was fitting a wee bathroom vinyl, right? Wait to hear this. So I chat the door. Guy comes to the living room window again at 2 minutes, mate. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, right? So I'm like, what's going on here? So we're waiting for a good 5 minutes, right? And I eventually appears at the door. And he says, "We're in, big man." So get in, right?
Aye.
Halfway up the stairs, I'm no joking, right? The biggest waft of shite hits my snib. Right? So I get to the bog door, unbearable, right? And I'm like, I turn to the guy and ask if he's at the wind up. I'm like, what's going on? And he shrugged his shoulders and he's just saying to me, he's just gone, what? What? I'm like, mate, I've chapped your door, you've told me 2 minutes, you've ran up the stair, you've passed at your toilet with job in, and you've conduced to let me in and fit vinyl. and that smell of the toilet. Aye, and that smell of the toilet. I mean, Rab, surely I thought I could have waited till I was done. So I tell him, I says, look, there's no chance I'm hanging out this smelly toilet to fit this flaring, right? So I walked down the stairs and I started heading to the van. I'm like, I'm out here. And he shouted, come on to fuck me, it's just a bit of shite, you they shite, son off. So I couldn't hold in my laugh, so I tell him I'd be back tomorrow. The next day, a cunt's knowing me a note in the door saying, back in 15, I'm doing a shite. Absolutely done me, some buzz, Kieran Smith. Short, sweet, I like that.
That was a good wee one. That was I like it. Do you have a Wrestling Daft Road story out there, by the way? It doesn't have to be anything to do with wrestling, just a funny story about your life, old pop us. Drop us a DM on Twitter at Wrestling Daft or on the Facebook page. So, Grado, there we go. That was another fantastic episode of Wrestling Daft, and we would like to apologise to anybody if we were on too much of a rant. This, but we're wrestling fans, aren't we, Grado?
We're glad. Look, we're glad. It was good. It was good to see the crowd back. Things there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We just thought they could have a wee bit more for it.
No, listen, I don't care what anybody says, it was a bad WrestleMania. You know,
listen.
We came out of last year's WrestleMania and there was some really, really positive moments for that. There was some really kind of creative, innovative. That was a WWE against a wall last year. They were against a wall and they had to come up with some stuff.
We were backing them up last year.
Aye.
Well, fair dues, man. You've managed to cram this in. We get it, man. We get it. You're pan your cunts in. It's a pandemic. Fair dues, but you've had a year to go at that, right? What we doing when the crowd comes back? You know what I mean? For a start, look, could it rain at this place? We're planning on doing it. Damn, it could fucking rain right enough, man. It could be mega storms, electrical storms, and you know, it could cause a bother. Let's no date in Florida, man. Let's date in LA. Let's date in LA, then we'll just fly out to LA. We'll date
next year it's in Texas, right?
It's in Texas. So
they've got a chance next year to make some changes. If it's in Texas, if it's in a home of the rattlesnake, we are expecting something special next year, and they now have a year to build up some serious storylines. The WWE is in a decent shape here. They've got a great main event heel there. Maybe the best main event heel they've had in years and years and years, right? They currently have another champion who I don't buy it. That's not a long-term champ. I'm no fond for it.
Here's a question. Who are we? What are we predicting the two main events to be next year? Could it be Roman and no? Could it be
Roman Drew?
Roman Drew's a shout, mate. Roman Drew's a shout.
Cena might be back next year.
I mean, I'd love to see fucking Cena and Drew.
I mean, how much did we miss Cena?
We missed Cena, mate.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. We missed Cena. We missed him. There was no John Cena. There was no Triple H. There was no...
I mean, Roman Rock is the one that... you'll never get The Rock back, but Roman...
Rock's by, mate. He's daft. That's going to be the next fucking president, never mind wrestling.
I mean, can you imagine Roman...
He's too busy replying to NXT folk on Twitter.
I mean, we know Roman
Thanks
Rock,
for wearing my socks.
we know Roman Rock would blow the roof off.
That would be the biggest main event in WrestleMania history, I think. I know, honestly, seriously, I think The Rock, the way he is now,
Bigger than Rock and Hogan.
versus Roman Reigns, is such a brilliant fucking story to tell there. You know, The Rock come back, you know the fucking head of the table, pal.
Aye.
You get back in.
You're right, John. You affronted me. Royal Rumble. You mortified me.
Listen, I genuinely think everything needs changed, and I prefer the 2-night WrestleMania to the 1 night.
I don't.
5-hour long WrestleMania, but there should be one WrestleMania that is 4 hours long. There should be like one WrestleMania that is 4 hours max. That should be it. Everybody doesn't need to be on that card. A lot of the people who were on that WrestleMania early 2 nights, I'm sorry to say this, have no right being on a WrestleMania. I'm sorry. Some of the wrestlers that were on that WrestleMania card should not be on a WrestleMania. And would never have gotten near a WrestleMania back in the day. And I just think we should be getting back to 1 night, 1 WrestleMania, 1 card. And honestly, it's time for fucking 1 champion again. See this 2 heavyweight champions. See if there was only Roman Reigns as the champ now. And there was just a sense of fucking direction and there was a sense of purpose. Instead of this, everybody's a champion. 10 fucking champions. I don't buy it. I don't think they need it. And if everybody's talking about how, you know, they don't even need to fucking do anything anymore. They don't need to book. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to hot shot enter or bring anybody in. Well, if they've got no pressure on them in that sense, then they should right the ship by going, we've got 1 men's champ, we've got 1 fucking women's champ, we've got an intercontinental champion, we've got a tag champion, none of this fucking SmackDown champion, Raw champion, fucking forget that. We don't need it. We don't need it. I'm not convinced we ever fucking needed it, to be honest. I think we'll just get used to it. Give us 1 WrestleMania next year with 1 champion. Give us a real fucking main event for a change instead of all these fucking deadbeats. Thanks for listening to Wrestling Daft. A listener of the week.
It's the guy that was talking about.
Are you happy to get to, what's his name? Let's see. Let's remember. Steve Stoner.
Steve Stoner, you're the man, mate.
Steve Stoner, you're the man. Grado, thanks for enduring my ranting about there.
Sorry.
Mine for more content. You get the video version of the show. Get on board. Patreon.com/Wrestling Daft. I owe you a WrestleMania review out there, but I'll not be doing that. I'll be doing something different instead. I can't talk about that WrestleMania. And why not check out our merch at shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you on the next one.
Up the road.
It's yourself, Grado.
Audio Frontier.